Previously on In the Middle.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sunday, April 19th. Episode 8. On expansion. The in-between is where it happens. The problem with constants is that you don't know you've memorized them until they're gone. You don't know how completely you've built your life around something until the something is removed and you're left standing in the shape of it. The shape of it like an outline where a body used to be, like a room you keep walking into out of habit. Before you remember, there's nothing left to collect there. We commit things to memory we never meant to keep. Rhythms, routines, the particular weight of a specific kind of tired, the way someone moves through a kitchen, the sound of a building at a certain hour, the feeling of being needed before you've even had your coffee. We mistake habit for ground. We mistake familiar for safe. We mistake constant for forever. And when constant disappears, we don't know what to call the feeling because we don't have a word for grieving something we never thought to name while we had it. And then one day it changes and you are left with the quiet, with the strange unstructured hours, with a body that still knows what it was for, but no longer has the task. And yourself is the hardest place to arrive at without somewhere to go, without something to prove, without the noise that kept the questions at bay. Grief is not always loud. Sometimes it doesn't announce itself with ceremony. It doesn't arrive dressed for the occasion. Sometimes grief is just the way Tuesday feels different now. The way your hands don't know what to do at the hour they used to be busy. Grief is the muscle memory of a life you no longer live. It is reaching for something that is no longer there. And the half second before you remember that it is gone. That half second is where grief actually lives. Not in the crying, though there is crying. Not in the absence, though the absence is total. But in the almost. In the habit that outlasts the thing. And the body still waking up for a life that has already changed. We are not always given language for this kind of loss because it doesn't look like loss from the outside. It looks like a Tuesday. It looks like a girl washing dishes. It looks like a regular morning. But inside the morning, something is very quietly learning how to restructure itself, how to take up the space differently, how to stop reaching. And the learning takes time, more time than anyone tells you. And it runs alongside everything else, alongside the working, alongside the loving, alongside the choosing to be okay. Grief is not a detour from the path. It is the path. It is the texture of it, the weight underfoot, the reason the journey builds muscle. We honor it. We do not rush it. We let it walk with us for as long as it needs to. And then one day, not because we decided, but because we have been faithful to it, the grief changes shape. It softens. It becomes something more like memory. And memory, we know how to hold. We have been here before. Most of us learned to run before we learned to rest, learned to give before we were taught to ask, learned to be needed before anyone taught us that need was also ours to have. So when the constant disappears, we don't only grieve the thing itself, we grieve the version of ourselves that was organized around it, the self that felt useful, that felt certain, that felt like someone inside the structure of it needed it, to feel like enough, to feel like something, to feel at all. And when the structure falls, we find ourselves in the rubble of a life we built efficiently, but not always honestly. Because honesty requires stillness, and we were never still long enough to ask the questions that would have slowed us down. Rest was supposed to be the reward, and when it finally came, forced, uninvited, heavy with everything it had been postponing, we didn't know what to do with it. So we turned away from it and ran toward the next thing. Because movement is the only prayer some of us know. Movement, a devotion we inherited before we had language for it. A theology of doing, passed down through hands that never stopped, through backs that curved under the weight and still came back the next morning. We prayed by arriving early. We prayed by staying late. We prayed by being indispensable, and we believed the only way the truly devoted can believe, that to stop was to disappear. A girl used to running will find another road, will find another weight to carry, another mouth to feed, another fire that needs putting out. And a place that always has a hole to fill will fill itself with you, if you let it. And we let it, because sacrifice felt like love, and love felt like the only currency we knew how to spend. So we stretched, farther than was wise, farther than was ours to give, and we called it loyalty, and we called it gratitude, and sometimes we called it family, because the word family has a way of making unreasonable things feel sacred, until the bow broke and we were laying in the wreckage of a life built in the name of someone else's need. And the quiet that followed was not peace. Not at first. It was just quiet. The kind that asks questions. The kind that doesn't let you answer quickly. What do you actually want? What do you want? What do you want? God damn it, what do you want? Without the noise. Without the roll. Without the constant telling you who to be inside of it. What remains when the constant is removed? What remains? This is the question duality lives inside, because we contain both, the one who gave too much and the one who knew all along that she was giving too much and gave anyway, the one who ran and the one who knew exactly what she was running from, the one who said yes when she meant no, and the one who understood that no was always available and still chose not to use it. We are not victims of our patterns, we are students of them. And the difference matters because a victim waits to be freed and a student begins to learn. But the learning is not clean. It does not move in a straight line, from broken to whole, from lost to found, from who I was to who I am. It moves the way water moves, finding its level, doubling back, arriving somewhere unexpected, and beginning again from there. Some days you are the woman, settled in herself, clear in what she will and will not carry, soft and unafraid of the softness. Some days you are still the girl, frightened, stretching to be enough, looking for something external to confirm that you are real, that you matter, that you have arrived. And both of those days are yours. Both of those selves are asking to be loved not alternately, not when they have earned it, but together. At the same time. This is the hardest part of duality. Not that we contain contradiction, but that the contradiction requires tenderness, not resolution. We hold both versions with the same hands, the hands that gave too much and the hands learning to receive, the hands that built from fear and the hands now building from love. We hold both. We honor both. We release neither, because neither is the enemy. They are the full story, both true, both necessary, neither the whole picture, neither and both. We do not choose between the girl and the woman. We choose to let the woman know the girl well enough to love her clearly, to say, I see what you are doing. I understand why. I am not ashamed of you. You were doing the best you could with the map you had in the dark, running, and we made it. We made it, we are still making it, and I would not undo the love that was in any of it. This is the question expansion asks. Not who were you, but who are you? When no one needs anything from you, when the demand is lifted, when there's no emergency to rise to, No one waiting for you to be the solution. Who do you become in the space that opens? The in-between. This is where it happens. Not in the arriving, not in the having, but in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. You don't notice while it's happening. You're too busy living it. Too busy making the small decisions that accumulate quietly into the large ones that become your life. One day you are 21, terrified, pouring yourself into a love that felt like it could hold you forever. And the world shuts down and forces you into the confrontation of a life you hadn't fully chosen yet. If I died tomorrow, would I be satisfied with how I spent my time, with who I spent it on, with what I let myself want? And the honest answer cracked something open, and then before you know it, you are someone else entirely. Someone who told the truth out loud, who said goodbye to people who once felt like the definition of forever, who sat in the grief of that, who did not rush past it, who let it change her, who built something slow and real out of the rubble of what didn't hold. A life so yours, your younger self wouldn't recognize it, wouldn't recognize you. The gratitude for that, for her willingness to be broken open, for her courage to survive her own choices, for her stubborn insistence that there had to be more than this, is its own kind of love. Love, not the love we were taught, that asks you to make yourself smaller, or arrive already perfect, or earn your place with what you offer. Not the love that keeps score. Not the love that says, look at everything I have done for you, as a way of saying you owe me your shape. A love that expands, that finds you mid-becoming and does not ask you to be finished first. A love that says, I am here for the uncertain version of you, for the one still figuring it out, for the one who doesn't have the words yet, and it doesn't always arrive in the way you imagined. Sometimes love arrives quietly, when you've stopped performing readiness, when you've stopped arranging yourself into someone easy to love. Sometimes it arrives when you're still, when you're honest, when you're not trying at all, and it recognizes something in you that you forgot was there. He is in the prayers before sleep, in the waking thoughts before the day has given you permission to think about anything beautiful, in the way certain songs now carry a different weight, in the way the future which used to feel like something to survive now feels like something to move toward, together. Love changes the quality of the silence. Love makes the in-between feel held. We are building towards something, and the building is the important part. Toward, not arrival, but the daily practice of choosing each other inside the uncertainty, inside the becoming. This is new territory. Not just the people involved, but the version of love that doesn't ask you to disappear inside it. A love that holds space for your wholeness, that celebrates your expansion without feeling threatened by how far you grow. This kind of love is not something we always knew how to receive. It asked us to unlearn things, to stop waiting for conditions, to stop managing the distance, to stop earning our place, to simply be and trust that simply being is more than enough, that the love is not contingent. It is just there, steady, learning you, choosing you in the ordinary moments, in the inconvenient ones, in the ones where you are not at your best and it stays anyway. This is what we were always hoping for. We just didn't know we were allowed to have it.
After I Monday was my weekend, so technically it's a new week for me.
Yo, and Nate really asked me to work.
You couldn't have caught me in a kitchen on Monday, bro.
Community taught us this too, that you can build a table after all the old ones have been cleared, that chosen family is real, that belonging is not a fixed address, it is a practice. It is showing up for the same people, in the same ways, until the showing up becomes the thing itself, becomes the foundation. But community is also learned. We are not always born into the one we need. Sometimes the community that made us loved us as much as it could, and it still wasn't the shape we required, so we went looking, or we stopped running long enough for the right people to find us. And they did. They always do. When you are honest about what you need, when you stop performing the version of yourself that needs nothing, that can carry everything, and let people see the actual weight of you, chosen family is not second choice. It is deliberate love. It is people who looked at all of you, the full version, the complicated one, the one still becoming, and said, yes, this one. We choose this one, and the choosing feels different from belonging by default. It carries its own particular grace, the grace of being wanted, not inherited, not obligated, but actively chosen, and learning to receive that without talking yourself out of it, without waiting for it to be revoked, is its own kind of expansion. Community is also duality. It is the people who couldn't stay and the love that didn't disappear when they left. It is the goodbyes that were right, even though they cost something real. It is learning that some love is seasonal, and seasonal is not failure. Seasonal is honest. Some people are chapter people, fully present for the chapter they belong to, and the love was real, even if it didn't last the whole book. We honor the chapter people. We release them with gratitude. We do not hold their season against them, and we keep building the table. We keep setting the places. We keep learning what it means to be someone's chosen and to choose back.
Say 45 minutes. 45 minutes? 6, yeah, 6. You got 6? Who write this fucking schedule? Lovely. Amazing. Wonderful.
Rest is not a reward. It never was. It was always a right that no one handed to us, so we had to hand it to ourselves, which is harder than it sounds when everything you were ever taught told you that rest was earned, that stillness was laziness, that quiet was avoidance, that you were only as valuable as what you were producing. We had to unlearn that, slowly, with resistance, with guilt at first. The guilt that comes from stopping when you have built your identity around the not stopping. The guilt that whispers you should be doing something. You should be useful. Someone needs you. And maybe that is true, but you also need you. A version of you that has never rested, that has never had the space to hear herself think, that has been running so long she has forgotten what stillness feels like. That version cannot give from fullness. She can only give from depletion, and call it love. Rest is a returning to yourself, to the version of you that exists outside of what you produce, outside of what you carry. Rest is where the questions come, and at first, the questions feel like accusation. Why did you wait so long? Why did you let it go this far? But given time, the questions soften. They become curiosity instead of indictment. What do you actually like? What feels like yours? What would you choose if choosing were truly available to you? And it is available to you now. Rest teaches you the difference between what you want and what you were trained to want, between what nourishes and what merely distracts, between the life you are living and the life you are building toward. And in the space between those two things is where the real work begins. Not the work of production, not the work of service, but the work of knowing yourself clearly, without apology, without revision, without performing the knowing for anyone else's comfort. Self-truth is quiet. It does not announce itself. It arrives in the resting, in the stopping, in the moment you realize you've stopped lying to yourself about what you need. And that moment changes everything.
This is what I meant.
Expansion is not loud. It does not announce itself. It happens in the questions you stop being afraid to ask, in the goodbyes that cost something and were right anyway, in the mornings that feel different, not because something changed overnight, but because everything changed slowly, and you are finally still enough to notice, in the love that keeps growing, even when you do not fully understand it yet, in the choosing to stay, to rest, to tell the truth, to build, to remain inside your own life without looking for the exit. The in-between is not empty. It is full of the slow accumulation of clarity, full of the work of becoming, full of love that is teaching you, at last, how to receive it. This is where girls become women, where the running slows long enough to see who has been walking beside you all along. This is the important part, not the arrival, not the proof of it, but the living, the tending, the staying in it long enough to be changed by it. Expansion is not departure. It is depth. It is choosing again and again and again and again to go further into your own life, to take up more space inside your own story, to say this is mine not because it is finished, not because it is certain, not because anyone gave me permission, but because I am in it, because I stayed, because I grew. And we are still growing, still learning what we can hold, still building towards something we can feel more clearly than we can name, still in the in-between. And the in-between is not waiting. The in-between is everything. We are not rushing. We are expanding slowly, faithfully. With both hands open, we leave the light on not as a signal, but as a practice. Not as a promise, but as a posture. This life is ours not because it is finished, not because it is flawless, but because we are present in it, because we are honest inside it, because we choose ourselves quietly, without audience, again and again and again. We are learning what it means to stay, not out of fear, but out of love. Love for the life we are building, love for the woman doing the building. This is not performance, this is practice. We are still here, still expanding, still becoming. And that is enough, right?